Holy cow. It's this game. Borderlands was a really dry game. So I've decided that I want to instead play a wet game, you know? You gotta keep them balanced. You gotta balance the wetness and the dryness in your life. This will help you be happier and more efficient. Our sonar isn't going off, which means I don't have to go swimming. Which is great, because I bet there's shit in the water that wants to kill me. Like, I can't trust any game that has water in it not to eventually have a part where the game decides to have me attacked by a water monster, you know? It just doesn't happen. I forget what exactly I have for fuel over here. I guess I'll get all the explosives up on the fuel hooks. That can't possibly go wrong, right? We already burned Mom's funeral plant like a real good kid. Oh. Grab the hook. There we go. Alright, eastward we go, I guess. Alright, there we go. And I guess now... Oh, hang on. I'm not going to fire the engine, actually. Something tells me that wouldn't do anything for me right now. However, there is something below us that I'm sure we can use as fuel. I hate this. Hello, fish. Yes, hello, fish. The issue is the presence of small fish means that at some point there might also be large fish. And I don't want to see a large fish. Some luggage. I'm gonna say the clothes in there probably aren't going to fit us, so these are going in the furnace, I think. Or at least they're going on the auxiliary furnace hooks. I wish I had auxiliary furnace hooks when I was younger. You know, when I was working a reactor. That sounds like a really cool thing to have, you know? Like, oh yeah, your engine has auxiliary furnace hooks for manipulating the space-time skeins or whatever the hell. But no, I just did nuclear reactions with, like, you know, the random shit you find out in space. Building stars out of a pocket universe. It's really a lot less elegant, a lot less cool. It's actually, come to think of it, it's basically the hyper-technological equivalent of running a suitcase-fired engine. Hang on, it says that there's something directly to the front of the boat and then down. There shouldn't still be sonar pings, right? Because those big sonar pings are usually only reserved for enormous crates full of fuel. Did I know that the Voidhound is a character from Star Wars The Old Republic? I did not. I tried to get into Star Wars The Old Republic back in the day. Oh my god, I'm a Star Wars character. I tried to get into SWTOR back in the day, but I never really could. I think I got into KOTOR for a hot minute. I had a Sith Inquisitor. And that was pretty great because the Sith Inquisitor, as far as I can remember, was pretty goddamn OP. As far as DPS classes went. Or at least they felt pretty reasonably powerful, you know? Huh. There's a crane here. And... okay, there's at least one other living thing. I can see a caribou over there. Oh, hey, it's one of these things that's opened by our cop. Oh, hey, there's a big one! Oh, shit! We gotta get inside. But, that's the thing. I like Star Wars in theory, but I only like the part of Star Wars that, like, the current maker of Star Wars, like, the people in control of the property don't seem to like. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, ha ha ha, ho has, what a funny meme, but I like the weird shit. I like when Star Wars is stupid and weird. Also, I think that gear, maybe that's the workshop we got the collar from? I don't know. I have trouble deciphering pictograms. Yeah, that's the thing, like, Star Wars can make sense, but that doesn't mean it can't be weird. I tried out, what was that one where it was, all the games journalists were calling it the Dark Souls of Star Wars games? Fallen Republic or Old Republic or whatever. I played that for, like, an hour. But then I ran out of space on my computer and I deleted it so that I could fit Elden Ring. Yeah, Fallen Order. Yeah, I needed to fit Elden Ring on my hard drive. They don't actually give me very much hard drive space. That appears to be... is that a ballast tank? Hang on a second. Oh, yeah. Wait, no. No, we want to go up. Hang on. Or do we? Do we want to? I'm gonna go up first. See what happens when I do. Or see if I even can. Up I go. Looks like a turbine, maybe? Well, there's a lever here. Oh! Huh. So, I have a feeling this big tower probably does something other than just, like, hold a ballast tank. Damn. Ow. Sorry, kid. I thought you'd grab the ladder automatically. That was my bad. What, I don't know what this is. I can't move it at all. I guess I'm gonna go... Sorry, kid. I'm gonna go pull the lever. Alright, down we go, I guess. I don't know what this battery does. I hope it's not anything evil. So if this is interconnected to the other game, maybe the dry part is just like the part we were in the first game, because there was absolutely no water in the first game. And then like the wet part, you know, there's a dam separating the two parts, and that's why like there's such weird weather. And there was that tidal wave earlier. This seems like it's probably not going to end well for the building that contraption is inside of. Hang on a second here. Wait, buddy. Oh, it didn't even pull the full tank. It just pulled out this little core. I wonder what that's gonna do to our boat. Hang on, I gotta exchange my submarine fluid. It's the only way I can get under this wall. You know, every boat should have Oh wait, no, this is one of those cores for the... Yeah. No, our boat actually has batteries for its many major features. I completely forgot since the last time I played this game. That's right. Uh-oh. Kid? Oh, that was strange. Alright. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, God. Poor kid. Fucking obliterated. Holy shit. Was this bag the sonar ping? No, the sonar ping is still down there. Sorry, Mom Plant. I'm sorry that I did such an evil thing solely for the achievement. Like, I really can't give any other justification for burning that flower other than I wanted to get an achievement. Because I checked the achievements page and saw that it had an achievement called Green Power for burning Mom's funeral plant. And now that I think about it, I really didn't have to do that and probably shouldn't have done that. Alright. God damn, how many batteries does this boat need? Oh, I have to close the sunroof, I guess. Before they'll let me go underwater. Alright, sunroof is closed. Oh wait, hang on. That's a hose inlet, I think, not a button. So I think I need to actually not accidentally hit the fuel button when I mean to get the hose. All right. I wonder if the submarine will automatically maintain neutral buoyancy, or if I'm going to have to control that as well. Because I do have the ability to turn the sucker on and off. Oh hey, manta rays. I'm glad those didn't show up earlier. I would have been very scared if they had shown up while I was out in the water. Oh, I didn't even know there was a door right here. Wow. That's very funny. Alright. repair canister. Go grab that bad boy. You know, this boat, I gotta say, in the first game when the boat broke, I was kinda indifferent because it wasn't a very cool boat. In this game, if this boat broke, I'd be very sad. Bonk. Alright, moving right along. It's a little creepy down here already. It's reminding me of the parts of Finding Nemo when they're near minefields and stuff, which I think we can all agree probably the worst part of Finding Nemo. Alright, get the big suck. Just suck some ballast right out of the tank into, I don't know, the vacuum void. I don't know if that's necessarily how this whole process works. I'm gonna kill the engine because there was a sonar ping below me. Ah, they won't let me out the... That's fair enough, I suppose. They won't let me out the back door when we are, many miles below the ocean. What is this? Dead lantern, it looks like. Okay. Guess that's gonna go on the burn. The live lantern, however, is gonna go on a hook that I keep. You can never have too many lanterns, especially underwater. Alright, refill the engine. I'm liking the music, very calm, but it's kind of calm in the way that's making me a little unnerved. It's reminding me a little bit of the Dwarf Fortress title screen music, the gentle guitar strum of Dwarf Fortress's title screen music. Sometimes the scientists make me play Dwarf Fortress in my free time. I don't know why. Well, made me. They're all in space now. I do have to wonder if this canted corkscrew is the best design for pulling a ship like this through water. Doesn't seem like it would be, necessarily. Come on. And then I need to cool the engine, please. Or my shit fucking explodes. Lots to micromanage in this little submarine section. But it's not, you know, I don't have to micromanage everything. I don't have to think about the sail, which is nice. I can't imagine completing this game in 22 minutes like some of the speedruns say, though. That sounds absolutely nuts. Alright, moving along. Should probably refuel the engine. Macerate and burn our garbage. We will not get sick from this, don't worry. Alright. More sonar pings. I hope it's not sharks. Nope, just more explosive barrels and luggage, it seems. Lot of flammable luggage going into our boat. Not quite sure what to make of that. I'm gonna go fix that sail, it's bothering me. Remember, being underwater is no excuse for having raggedy sails. Every part of your boat should strive to be as beautiful as you. A boat should be a reflection of the inner self. And if your boat is not beautiful, then how will we know inside that you have the soul of a hero? I should probably pull the hook up, huh? I only just noticed that. Wonder how long that hook's been dragging out for. Oh, I can get in the back door as well. Interesting. I just can't go out the top, I guess? Or at least when I tried, I didn't think I could. Alright. Final bit of fuel. I know it seems like I'm being a little bit picky about picking up every single piece of fuel, but I wasn't in the first game, and it really came back to bite me later on. So I'd like to avoid that tragedy this time around. Damn it. Yeah, no, I probably should have adjusted my ballast before I fired up the engine, huh? Ugh. This submarine stuff, huh? See, this is why I'm a starship dog. Managing all the nuances of a submarine's a real pain in the ass. Gotta maintain buoyancy, keep the engines fueled and cooled. Back when I was on a starship, all I had to do was make the electricity, and then there was I had a team of guys who did everything for me. I didn't have to jump up and down on the bellows myself. Ah, yes, the engine. That's okay. You know, you would think they knew they were making a submarine. You'd think they would make the engine more open to water or something so it cools itself a little bit better. Luggage. Just boxes and hat boxes and other people's stuff. How did this much, like... It seems like we are, in fact, driving by the remnants of skyscrapers and stuff, and I'm just wondering how at this point. Like, is there actually that much water stored in the ice caps of basically any planet to flood skyscrapers? This planet's biosphere just seems a little too wet to be plausible, you know? Just gonna throw shit wherever now. I have so many things. This game gave me a generous amount of hooks, but I think they underestimated my proclivities to hoard. Remember, it's only hoarding if you don't end up needing it later. I'm not advocating you do anything, but something to think about, maybe. Hang on. Stop the boat, please. I saw an incredibly shiny thing. I need to go back and look at that, whatever that was. That's a hook for my cargo hook, I think. I don't know what pulling on this is gonna do. I guess open it up. I don't know what opening that's gonna... Well, at least there's water inside, so nothing seems to be draining. Imagine if you opened a big hatch like this at the bottom of the ocean and the whole ocean just gone. Ultimate nightmare, huh? I mean, I guess I'm going down into the hole. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, there's another collar door. I think we're about to receive some creepy lore. Banners for something. Oh. Plans for a city, maybe? Maybe an underwater city? Doesn't seem to have worked out very well. Gotta say. Maybe it has, and that's what we're looking for. Both are options. Alright. Winch this thing onto the boat. If I can, because I didn't actually lower it through the proper hatch. Alright, it loved that. uh, one single jar of propane. Interesting. Oh, and a big button, too. And a wrench? I don't know what that pickup item is. So... what's that button gonna do? Oh! Huh. Maybe not all of this construction is completely abandoned? Maybe it just looks bad out here? I know that that's being a little, over-optimistic, maybe. Well, let's go. You know, I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of the idea of all that water being held back from me by only, a thin sheet of glass. You know, I crush just like anything else, and if something crushes my collar, I'm pretty sure that'd kill me. Not 100% sure. Never tried it. You know, I keep asking Gub to try and stab me to see what'll happen, but she's not willing to most of the time. We're making good time now. Uh-oh. Okay, I think we're gonna want to go down a little bit. Up? Yeah, I think up. Yeah. More up. Shit. Shouldn't have reset the lever. All the way up? Hey, we have air. We have land. Isn't it beautiful? Finally. No more submarine. At least for now. Oh, and there's even a breeze. What a glorious day. Alright. Get the sails set. Hang on. Come on. There you go. Yeah, there we go. Hello, log. Thank you, log. Oh. Ouch. Yeah, alright. Probably, yep. No, sails don't like that. Probably should have dropped them. But there's not really a good way to get up here and drop them. Because I go so quickly, I do not see the things before they just wreck the shit out of my sails anyway. Gotta fix my sails, weld that canvas back together just like a good boat person should. If you don't know how to weld canvas, you probably shouldn't have a boat. And yes, I do mean weld. You do not sew canvas. You have to weld it like a metal. It's highly scientific. To be a boat. Sonar says there's something above us. Can I go under this maybe? Yeah. I don't think my own ship is going to be able to go all the way underneath that. That's gonna be... Yeah, it's not gonna be a squeeze we can make, I don't think. Unless the game wants me to try anyway? I'm gonna try just to cross it off the list, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Going down has not done anything. There's not really any way I can get on top of this boat, it seems like. So I can't really jump out of the water. Happens if I just fire the engine now? Will that do anything? That's just wasting fuel, looks like. Once again, I am being defeated by boat puzzles. I'm noticing an ongoing problem with this game specifically, where Kind of has trouble making sure that I can still see my character when the water line is close to the camera, as it is right now. It's done a valiant effort trying to keep up, but it keeps flubbing it in this scene in a specific way that's kind of a absolute pain. Did those ladders just not line up because I wasn't all the way... like, I hadn't emptied my ballast tank all the way? Goodness, do I feel foolish. Bunch more abandoned luggage, which is great, because that means more people probably died. That's rough. Yeah, that's rough. You can go. I can still hear it all the way down there. That's awful. There's a heavy wind that I don't appear to be able to move against particularly well. Do I have to... yeah, I had to grab this chain to keep from blowing off. Oh hey, is that the dam? I think that's the dam that was on the chart. So the first city was a bust, but maybe if we can get past this dam, there'll be that other city that was on the map with people in it. Come on. No, 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 no! What? You bastard! No, what? I pressed the button on that one too, game. I disagree with your assessment of that situation. I am imagining doing this in real life, actually, and it's the worst thing in the world. I feel bad for this kid. Is there a way up, or was I expected to have, brought something to stand on? I can't help but feel as if the game was maybe expecting me to bring something to stand on. And I didn't. Because cripes. Okay. Back to go get something to stand on, I guess. Wait a minute. I actually can't get something to stand on. Huh. I gotta say, I'm not enjoying the puzzles in this game as much, because they are... maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I am just the stupidest dog on the planet. But they don't seem as obvious as like what am I... how was I supposed to know that that was a climbable piece of terrain? God damn. What? Okay, that's a ladder. Good to know, I guess. Thanks, game. I have never had to assume what is and isn't a ladder before, but okay, game. Huh. That looks like an engine. This looks like the core to another one of our, ships. I mean, I guess we start at the bottom and fuel it up, right? Have to somehow get that fuel assembly onto the rest of the boat, maybe? Okay, that button's not working right now. That button does work, though. Cool. And fire the engine. And the engine is all the way fired. Does that button start working? Had to keep working the engine at max capacity for a bit. Oh, interesting. I think we're powering up one of our boat cores or whatever the fuck those things are. I feel like powering up all of the blue glowy technology through burning macerated trash is kind of burying the lead as far as like what our technology actually runs on. Because at the end of the day, it is still running on burning trash, even if we do eventually like start using the blue glow sauce in our cars and landwalkers. Huh. What did that accomplish? The engineering sensibilities of this universe sure are something. Oh, and then yeah, we can use this to... Yep, we can winch the power cell. I wonder what the fuck kind of power this is gonna give our boat. And no, this time I'm not gonna hurt the child horribly through fall damage. I have some humanity. Oh, come on. Oh, I have to go up there and actually just lower the hook. Okay. See, part of the problem that I think I have with this game so far, because this game is pretty good, and I've enjoyed both of the FAR games quite a bit, but one of the problems that I've kind of had is an ongoing lack of clarity that is not charming mystique so much as it is just, like, partial inability to actually process what the game wants or expects from certain puzzles. And that's really no fun. And I think that's just one of the risks you take when you have a completely non-verbal game that only tutorializes you about, like, the basic movements, and then you just kind of have to figure everything else out from there. Again, the engineering sensibilities of this world continue to be very strange. Alright. have our final boat core. I wonder what that boat core is gonna give us that'll actually let us deal with the enemy boat in our path. Is this the music box? Yeah. I'm gonna keep that there. I'm not going to burn a music box. I did burn my mother's funerary flower, but I have learned from that mistake. I think. I can't say I wouldn't do it again for, like, a bit if I got the opportunity. Alright, what power's our boat getting now, baby? Does our boat have double turbo now? I would love if we had double turbo. That was an option on my original Starship, but we never actually, like, ponied up the cash for it. So we always had those little hollow plastic drill outs on the GUI console that never actually, like, did anything. Alright. So if we tend the engine for a little bit. This is a neat way of actually teaching you the mechanic before you actually, like, know the mechanic, but I stand by what I said about sometimes these games have a lack of clarity to them. Press the button. Let me press the button. Alright, charging. Get the engine all the way pumped, because I accidentally once again splashed it with water. I'm gonna press the button. Come on, let me press the button. I wish to press the button. Come on, please. That might not have completed the entirety of the event because we were partially submerged. I can't believe I beefed the scripted event. And now my engine's gonna explode. This is why they didn't let me run the Starship engine. Let's leave. God damn it. We can only ever do our best, right? Hit the button, Kronk. Let's go. gonna get us moving just as quick as we can go, because I have a feeling the weather's going to turn. Call me crazy. But usually when things go well in this game, the weather then turns and they go horribly. This is nice. Serene, even. Probably get more fuel on the hooks before I have an interruption to my lovely momentum, just because I decided to run out of fuel for no adequately described reason. Come on, grab the ladder. There you go. So I wonder if we're actually using fuel when the blue boost is on. Like, is it an energy recycler, or is it just making us use even more fuel to hit that incredible speed? That appears to be a crash dirigible, which is not surprising. Dirigibles suck. They're just not very good. Gonna hit that boost again. Let's go. Nope, come on. Let's go. Wait. Did I lose it because I was? Yeah, I wasn't properly juiced for too long, so the game locked the boost. Good to know. Let me hit the boost. Yeah. I love a good turbo button. Alright, the wrench is going in the engine. I don't need that. Oh, this isn't great. The wind appears to be actively fighting us. I'm going to go drop the sail. Uh-oh. Oh dear, fuel. That was my bad. Come on. Not liking the weather change. We already had one bad weather change earlier this game, so a second means it can only get worse. We are almost out of fuel, so I guess that can's going in. I don't want to be out here anymore. Now, I'm not the kind of dog that gets that anxious about thunder, but I am when I'm in a metal can in the middle of the ocean, you know? Is that a boat? Is that a goddamn boat? No, that's not a boat. Is that shore? What is that? What is that we're headed towards? Oh no, that is a boat. Just a dead boat, it would seem. Are we damaging our engine every time we use that turbocharge? Because it sure looks like we're damaging the engine every time we use that turbocharge. Come on. I really don't want to be burning my lanterns, but at this point I do not have anything and I don't feel comfortable stopping to dive for fuel. This is getting dire. Oh boy, more lightning, huh? Cool. Our boat sounds like it is in pain. Great. Alright, music box, you're going in. I was gonna be all sentimental and I was gonna keep you and it was gonna be great, but it looks like this game, much like the previous game, is gonna just make me burn all of my possessions in the eastward journey. It's like a regular reverse Oregon Trail. We're headed east instead of west. We didn't grab any food before we started on this ocean trip, did we? Okay, engine, that's enough. Don't explode, thanks. Ah, boy, okay. Yeah, that was my bad. So that's what happens when that heat meter maxes out. Good to know. It just pops up a gear. Or pops up a button just like the sail does when I hit something with it. Well, the weather's cleared up, so there's that, I guess. Raise the sails because I don't think we're going to be having I don't think we're going to be able to rely on engine power too much longer here. Hang on, god damn it. Nope, not gonna crash my sail for the millionth time. No thank you, game. And the engine overheated, of course. It's difficult. It's a difficult journey we're undertaking. But sonar says there's something, which is great news. Maybe it'll be a repair kit and I can set my calamitously ruined house in order. The boat sure has fallen on hard times, hasn't it? Sails busted up, engine overheating repeatedly because of my own incompetence. It's not looking good for Team White Girl. We gotta look at this objectively. It simply isn't. Hey, there's a repair can in there though, which is nice. I wonder if these big fuel canisters that you fish up with your winch actually scale how much fuel is in them based on how little you have, because that one felt surprisingly generous considering that I have also just coincidentally been getting my ass handed to me by my own inability to manage my fuel supply. Alright, set that repair can there. Move all this junk inside. You know, if I was one of the engineers building one of these ships, if I was going to make it a little bit more friendly to single operator usership, my first sort of note would be maybe put the fuel hooks on the same level as the button that makes the fuel hooks move. And in fact, maybe don't put a hole right in the main walkway of the ship so that you kind of have to hop over it or blatch your face into a ladder every time as you're fueling up the ship. That would be my first design note for a V2 of this boat. Also a bed, because looking at it, I don't think I actually have a bed. I have a hammock, I think. Move us a little bit more forward. Huh. A lot of bunks inside of a giant steel tube. So is the plan just to have everyone live in big steel tubes as the water rose? Like, I'm still not quite understanding what the impulse is with... Maybe from the cranes we were a failed terraforming core or something? We appear to have just a big ring. Like, those tubes are all filled with bunk beds, presumably. We have a big ring of cranes around what appears to be a bunch of icebergs to the east. I'm afraid I don't necessarily understand the point of our civilization other than building vehicles and burning childhood mementos for delicious blue fuel. Actually, get a good look right off the edge of this. Yeah, it's a wet one, alright. You know, if I was this kid the whole time that I was up any of these impossibly large structures, like, all I could think personally is about how my boat's definitely gonna drift away when I'm not looking, and how it's gonna ruin my life when that happens. Like, I would constantly be anxious that the boat has decided that it is going to drift laterally from me, you know? Huh. Alright. We have freed the crane. Are we literally picking up our boat and moving it over via crane? I would love if that is the actual plan. Is that what these cranes are for? Moving the boat over the ring of apartment buildings? Well, at least our kid doesn't seem to really suffer any ill effects from consistently eating shit. Sorry, kid. Still not quite sure how this gets us any closer to, any of our goals, really. But I trust the game. Well, we've unblocked the way forward, but I mean more in a broader sense, like what we're actually getting from continuing forward with our boat, you know? More delicious submarine gameplay. I wonder what our submarine turbo looks like. I guess we'll find out soon, huh? Though I can't imagine it'll be particularly helpful given the nature of the submarine segment so far. Like, I've always been running into walls pretty directly after I get going at a steady clip during these segments, you know? Return to the surface yet? Like, am I underwater for no reason right now? Ah, I was. Well, there's boats on the iceberg. I guess that's interesting. Though again, I have to wonder what the point of all of these cranes and like iceberg houses is. Damn it. Went up too prematurely. Have to keep the engine at actual maximum instead of just hoping it'll get there. Okay. I could put the sails up, but every time I put the sails up, they immediately get whacked back down by something passing overhead, so I think I'm just gonna leave the sails down for now. Another boat, huh? Alright. Ah. It's not another boat, it's a weird buoy orb thing. Do I have to go under it? Huh. I really don't like this. I'm gonna go back up to the boat, folks. I'm gonna take the boat down, and I'm gonna assume that I have to take the boat down. Because this is scary as fuck, and I would rather be in the boat if I'm gonna be attacked by something. Don't appear to be able to get past the giant round buoy. Though, I don't know if it's unable to get past, or simply my character is not interested in getting past the giant round buoy. Because we could definitely move laterally around it if our boat could turn. I guess down I go. Time for dissension. I'm just going down. There's nothing that I can do to go down any faster. Hey, manta rays. Is this part of the game where as I just wait to go down, they're gonna attack me with something horrible? There's gonna be a monster of some description. Because there's manta rays, so they clearly know that there can be wildlife under the ocean. Like, wildlife is on the table for these underwater segments, clearly. Alright, down we go into the hole. Oh, there's another one of those vault doors. Alright. Well, I can already see a sonar ping in front of us, so I'm actually gonna go check that out, make sure it's not some fuel. Could be a shark, but at this point, who cares, you know? More luggage! Alright. It's good to know that even in the depths of the ocean, there were some people who, again, fucking died and left their luggage down here in a state that I could collect to use to fuel my boat. It's a little bit weird how they make you hear the water rumbling noises even when you're inside of the submarine. Because, like, they play the noises as if you're still wearing your helmet inside of the submarine itself. Where this tunnel leads. I guess we'll find out. Ah, the tunnel leads to another tunnel. Very good use of boost. I'm glad that I did that. Did I not stop the engine? Damn it. I didn't. Okay, hang on. I thought that hosing down the engine during its boost state might stop it, but I guess not. I feel like blasting a water hose directly into the fire is probably not the best way to stop a steam engine like that. Like, I'm pretty sure there was a British submarine where a lot of people got scalded to death specifically because they didn't have very good, like, pressure release for the steam and whatnot. So I don't think we can just blast a hose willy-nilly into the fire of a steam engine. Like, that's not going to cause a huge, like, gout of fatal steam, you know? Because it is. Up we go. Not all the way, though, it seems. Come on. No. Alright. There we go. I should probably get that hose set back to water so I can cool the engine. And more fuel. Because running out of fuel would be very awful. Another excellent use of boost. I am wedged. Oops. Alright. That was a little embarrassing. Stop the engine, see whatever that sonar ping is, I guess. This game's getting into a strange limbo that I always end up when a game has been going on for long enough, which is I only paid like 20 bucks for this game, so I can't really expect it to be much more than a couple hours long, reasonably speaking. And I've already played 2 hours of it, albeit very slowly because I was gooning up some very simple puzzles, right? So I'm kind of at a problematic stage where I'd like to stop playing this game because it's starting to outwear its welcome a little bit with some of these puzzles and some of their more asinine solutions thus far. And some of the game's more painful jank, let's say. But if I do that, I might not have enough material to actually stream anything of it next time. Then I'll have to pivot halfway through. Never an excellent place to be. Can I go forward at all from here? Or am I literally just... okay. They want me to interact with something down here. I think. There's nothing down at the very bottom here. That thing flashes red when I try to interact with it. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Do I have to move backwards and maybe move my ship up? Like, maybe I've gone too far forward. That's never been a problem up until now, I don't think, but, you know. First time for everything. Anything happen if I just go up? No. Alright, back down it is then. There's clearly something on the sonar they want me to interact with, but pulling that lever doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, I see. My ship has an umbilical dock with this whole structure for some reason. What are you gonna do to my boat? I'm really worried about what they're gonna do to my boat now that I have stuck that in there. Is that what I think it is? I think it might be what I think it is, which is absolutely wild. Which is to say, I think that might be a wheel. Are we giving our boat a wheel? Because if our boat gets a wheel, then it's just gonna be 100% better than the vehicle in the first game. Because, like, our first... Oh, excuse me. Our first game's vehicle, the second we got anywhere near water, like, the back half of it exploded off of it and it didn't work anymore. Alright, we're not mashing that in there. Good to know. I'm gonna guess the orange thing probably plugs into the orange thing. If it doesn't, I would be surprised. We really are lucky that all of this technology kinda still just does the work for us all these years later, huh? Alright. Can't just stick it down there. That's fair enough, I guess. Well, anyone else who needs to use this machine, they'll have to figure out a way to get the working fuses or whatever they are to move to the front. But that's not our problem. Because we got the working fuse out of the slot that's actually aligned with the automatic crane machine. So, real win for us today. Alright, and plug in the new fuse. And is this gonna do to our boat what I think it's gonna do to our boat? Is this a wheel for our boat, or is this just a big engine? Yeah, we're just kind of making a lot of assumptions that the things we're doing are positive, you know? So has that, is that all we needed to do? What is that actually... What has that done to our ship? If anything. What has that done to our environment, even? Maybe if I attach the winch to that, it'll do something? I'll try the winch, because I don't know if it's going to let me leave. But the hook on there did seem like it was dim, so that might not even be what I have to do, you know? Yeah, no, that's not even what I have to do. Glue all the way up, and then... Yeah, there's just that. Then yeah, I'm pretty sure my sub is still locked in here. Like, I can't decouple it yet, I don't think. Well, I guess I can swim around outside a bit more. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this orb, dog? Is there another thing over here I need to pull for the orb, perhaps? I don't... I gotta say, I don't enjoy puzzles like this. Like, this game is definitely now suffering in comparison to the first game, because where the first game had a lot of, like, pretty self-explanatory puzzles and fun mechanics, this game has way too much open space and way too high expectations for what, like, the player's just going to randomly intuit is the right thing to do. I do not understand the actual goal here. I'm going to go look up a walkthrough because now I'm just wasting everyone's time. Now that I'm looking at this walkthrough, I think I'm going to be really... we're doing alright. I got stuck at this puzzle. And that's alright that you were on lurk because... the last... I'm really angry. The answer to this puzzle better not be what this walkthrough looks like it's about to make it. That's really frustrating. So, apparently the answer to this puzzle is that I was supposed to know that that animation somehow meant that my ship was now connected to that dynamo down there, and I had to power up my ship's engine in order to power that power core down there. And I'm not really sure how I was supposed to know that, other than just knowing it, or just kind of figuring it out. Like the little metal connector sticking up towards my ship, I was supposed to assume that that meant... Okay, sure. I gotta say, this game is a lot less of a smooth, enjoyable cinematic experience than Far Lone Sails, just because Lone Sails, like, I never had a moment where I had to stand around for 5 minutes just kind of, like, guessing what the game wanted me to do. It was usually pretty self-explanatory. They wanted me to go east in my car. mean, I guess this is pretty neat, but I bet everyone's already dead still. I have a strange feeling, in fact, that everyone's already dead still. Well, now that I've also taken the moment to see that walkthrough, I've seen that I can, in fact, take a break from this game and still have enough content for basically a full stream afterwards. So I'd like to thank you all for coming out, and I'd like to thank you all for putting up with uh, I can't tell if it's either I'm tired and stupid or if the game was just unclear about what it wanted from me. Because there's only so many things that I can actually do to interact with the game world. So I guess sooner or later I was going to fire the engine and use a boost while I was locked into a platform that I couldn't move on. I don't know. I just don't know